Hi, everyone. Jared Klein here with Kellett Wealth Advisors. I'm here to talk about my 5-year anniversary of starting at Kellett Wealth. 5 years ago, I left P&G to take on a passion, something that I had a lot of anxiety about, trying to figure out whether it was the right time and whether I could afford to make the leap, knowing that I would take a hit financially, at least in the short term, and knowing that I was taking a risk. Brian Kellett came to my house and he ended up putting together a financial plan to help me figure out and help me feel more comfortable with the decision I was potentially going to make. The tools have changed a little bit, but the question is really still the same. Do I have enough when I've had enough of the corporate world? So what I thought I would do today is share with you our planning tool and some of the things that we could take you through to figure out if you're ready to make a big career change or even a change to retire, whether you have enough. So I'll now show you the tool that we use and take you through a little bit of how we can help you think through that question. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a hypothetical couple. First of all, you've got Fred Durf. Fred is 54, and we're going to assume that he's going to live to age 90. His wife, Wilma, and they still have an 18-year-old at home. We put in his net worth, so we've assumed that he has a little over $2 million in investments. He's got about $625,000 of equity in his home and a few other things. We're also going to say that his income from his corporate job or his current job is $400,000 a year. And we're going to say that that ends at the end of this calendar year. We're also going to show him as having a side hustle. And that side hustle is at $40,000 a year. And once again, we're going to show that ending at the end of this calendar year. And then what we're going to say is Fred's going to take on his passion. He's going to go do something that he really loves to do and he's always wanted to do, but he just didn't have the wherewithal to pull it off. And now he's looking at it. And so what we have is we have him earning $150,000 a year starting in 2025. So a significant drop off in income. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to look at his current potential to be able to retire at 65 and have his retirement years lived out the way he wants to live them with the cash flow that he's hoping to have. And right now, what the Monte Carlo analysis says is that he's got about a 76% chance of living that lifestyle he wants to live in retirement. Now, what we can do with the tool is we can make some changes and we can see how those variables impact that percentage ability to have those retirement goals, have them meet those retirement goals. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to change the current strategy, which is for he and Wilma to take Social Security at 62 and have the tool optimize that for us. And what you'll see is that immediately it jumps his probability of success from 76% to 81%. Now, I'm further going to say that if Fred gets into a job that he really loves and he's passionate about, that he might be willing to work to 67. And I'm going to assume that Wilma is going to work to the same point. And if you change that, so we're going to see that the tool says now, boom, you've jumped up in Fred's case from 76% all the way to 86%. So we've optimized Social Security to take it at age 70. And we've said, well, Fred might be willing to work in a job that's his passion until age 67. And you see that we've really moved the needle on his ability to succeed with his retirement goals. And then finally, we're going to say, what if Fred now is more comfortable living a frugal life because he realizes that he's not as stressed. He doesn't need to be on the road as much. Maybe he doesn't need to spend as much on clothing and food, whatever it might be. So we say that he has some money to put away every year in the tune of $10,000. And you'll see he gets a slight increase to 87%. Now, at this point, we're going to look at Fred's situation and feel pretty comfortable that he can live and he and Wilma can retire feeling that they have what they need for their goals. Now, you might say, well, he's not at 100% or he's not even in the 90s. But when we look at something like this, we say, well, he's already most of the way there in his mid 50s with that 87%. And so what we'll probably do is put him on a path to say, let's come back and talk about this on a quarterly or annual basis, depending on what he wants to do and his goals and what kind of anxieties he has on whether he still feels like he needs to tweak this further. But really, we're going to watch this and we're going to assume that as we move forward and he tries to follow that passion, that we're going to continue to tweak the plan. And then over time, we'll continue to drive that probability up, even from 87 into the 90 percentile, and make him feel real comfortable that he's got what he needs to live off of. So that's just a case study for you, a way to understand the kind of things that we're going to tweak and help somebody with as we put a financial plan in place. We like to say planning pays dividends. Thank you.